Hey everybody, I got this in the mail. I was expecting it, yes, because I was contacted by a company who watches my channel. Thank you to all the viewers that I have. And they happen to be a company called Wurkkos. So they emailed me and said, can we send you this product to feature or show on your channel? And I said, yes, no problem. However, I cannot be biased just because you send me a free product. I am going to open it up, unbox it, review it, test it out, maybe even tear it down and see what's going on inside for all you viewers. So I want to give an honest assessment of this thing and allow you to make up your mind as well. So, and that's the condition basically with all of the stuff that I get. Most of it I buy. Almost the entirety of what I have I buy, but sometimes I do get something for free, but nevertheless I still give an honest opinion. So let's open it up. This is what you get. This is, I don't even know what this is, Wurkkos HD03. It looks to me like it's some kind of a flashlight with a rechargeable battery. It's got different amount of light, 180 meter beam, it says, RGB, okay. It tells you here how long it lasts for different things. So we may test it out. I'll have to charge it up. But IPX6, I'm assuming that means it's waterproof up to a point. Takes about an hour 20 to charge. And that's all the information there, okay? So let's open it up. There is the package. And we have README, spotlight mode, floodlight mode. Press the button for power on and off, color options. And okay, so let's see what do you get in the box. Basically, this. It's a small metallic case. Looks like it has a clip. And there's some LEDs there. That's basically it. Okay, what do we have here? Spotlight mode and I don't know what that means at all. We'll have to figure that out. There is a USB Type-C here. Does it come with a cable? I hope it does. Yeah, it comes with a cable and a lanyard, like some kind of a string there to hold on to. Let's see what's inside here. Unfortunately, these days, nobody gives you chargers anymore. I find that's the case with almost everything out there. But you do get at least a Type-C cable. I have tons of those now as well. But yeah, I recently ordered a small pocket radio and didn't come with a voltage, like a wall outlet, only one of these. Oh, and it's a Type-C to Type-C. So for all you viewers out there, you're gonna need a Type-C type plug. I don't know if I have one. I have the one that goes Type-C to USB. So like a regular USB Type A, you know, the big one. So I might end up having to use that to charge this thing, unless I have the little, the adapter for the wall that comes with Type-C as well. So, okay, that's that. So yeah, this is like a little string. I don't know how you're supposed to connect it. Oh, through there. So I'm guessing you pass it through here somehow, maybe, and then you pull it through. It goes, because this certain, oh, maybe, hold on, this is a clip. Maybe that opens up here. That wouldn't go through there though. No. Okay, we'll figure that out later. Okay, instructions. Welcome to the Wurkkos family. Okay, user manual and lots of languages here. So you're gonna get a huge manual with tons of pages here, but you really only need this part here. Okay, English, and then these are all the other languages. Okay, you got a lanyard loop, user manual, Type-C, dust-proof bag. Okay, dust-proof bag. Is there a bag in here? Oh, no. Is this the dust-proof bag? I'm not sure. Okay. Wait, what's this? Another lanyard. Oops. I forgot this guy. Okay, 2 lanyards. A big one and a small one. I'm guessing this is the one that goes through there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Wait, lanyard loop, user manual, type C, charging cable, dust-proof bag. Okay. I did end up cutting the video there and getting back to the manual because I went through it and it turns out there's a lot of stuff here. And I'm not the one to go through and read every single detail here, but there's a lot of functions. So I'll just summarize it for you for brevity. There's a RGB light mode, which I'll show you in a minute. And then there's spotlight and floodlight mode. Essentially, you can either activate the rings on the outside. I believe that's the floodlight mode, or you can do the ring in the middle. That's a spotlight mode. I'll try to turn it on and you can see. See, that's spotlight and that's floodlight because it uses the rings on the outside, and you can switch between the two. And the RGB mode doesn't use either. And it just gives you an indication of the amount of time needed for all those different brightness levels. But rather than go through this complicated series of pictures, we're gonna end up here on the operational flow chart, okay? And that basically summarizes the function of this thing very nicely. So let's do this and just have to memorize some of this. Okay, it's off. You'll notice it's off. You can choose one or the other. I've got it here. I'll put it in that mode first. But let's do RGB. So these are, sorry, not RGB, whatever this is. That's the single light mode. Okay, so if you press and hold it on, press and hold, you now have that middle one acting as a moonlight, okay? If you want it to go low, medium, high, turbo, you basically just press and hold. It'll go to the next level, see, in brightness. And then when you do it again, really bright, and then again, it's small again, right? So you can go through bigger and bigger and then back to normal, okay? If you want to turn it off, okay? And the same happens if you hit this button. Now you're on, what is that? Floodlight. It'll do the rings around the top. So once again, the moon, you hold it down. See, very, very low level. You can barely see anything. And then you press and hold, press and hold, press and hold, press and hold. It gets brighter and then back to normal, okay? Now, when the light is on, if you want to jump to any of these weird flashing modes, you triple press. So let's go triple press here. And you'll notice it's on low, but triple press. It doesn't matter, it just jumps to some default brightness. It doesn't matter where you are here. And that can give you basically seizures. So I apologize to all my viewers here that are seizure prone. I'm gonna triple pressed it again. It went to SOS. See? Long, long, long. That's the O. And then doot, doot, doot. That's S. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, double press the cycle. Sorry. 1, 2. No, now beacon. Beacon just does that. Flashes once in a while. Okay, anytime you want to get back to normal, you hold it. And then you're back to where you started. And then you hold it again, you're off. Okay? And so exactly the same applies when you're in the spotlight or floodlight. It'll do the strobe, SOS, and beacon thing. Okay? Finally, if you want to get into RGB light mode, you double press the button. So 1, 2, and now you have some color, whatever that is. If you want to change the color, you press and hold. So let's press and hold, and you'll notice it's cycling through the colors. See? Blue, and there's some kind of a magenta, purple, red, yellow, orange, green. Okay, let's stop there. When you let go, it stays. Double press to go to strobe, and press and hold to go back to there. Okay, so let's do double press. And now whatever color you chose is gonna blink. Okay, strobe. And then these are some already preset things. So red, blue, beacon light, you just double press. Wait, I triple press, sorry. Double press, there. That's the red, blue. I'm gonna double press again. full color flowing light. So it's just gonna go through all the colors, except you don't have to press it, right? And I'm gonna do it again, and we're gonna go through this red, blue, green flowing light. So it does like a circle like that. Gradient meteor, let's see that. That's gradient meteor. Gradient breathing is like a green light that goes in and out, or it changes color, it looks like. It goes in and it changes, okay. Gradient single light rotation. I don't know what, oh, that's same thing, but now it's going around and around with a different color. And that's basically it. And then if you do one more time, it'll strobe. Now we're back to strobe, see? And then you can press and hold, and then you can change the color again to whatever you want, let's say, and then it'll go back to strobing, you see? And then you want to turn it off, click one time, click again, off, okay? So that's that flow chart. And then finally, triple press the button to lock. So I guess that 1, 2, 3, it indicates that by flashing twice. And now I guess when you press this thing, it doesn't really do anything when you turn it on. When you press and hold, it basically just activates it for as long as you hold it. Like that's it, right? But like you can't, see, press and hold to power on is not doing it. Single press to power on is not doing it, see? It's locked. But if you want to unlock it, you triple press. 1, 2, 3. Now it's on. And then you can go through all the modes again. So if you want to just get right down to it, I would just use the operational flow chart, memorize that, and you can look at all this detail too. But after spending a bunch of time trying to figure what this is all about, I thought this was the easiest thing to do. Just go straight here. Okay, so I'm gonna have to test it now. So that's it as far as my first impressions. I mean, it's a small, very small, so it's easy to carry around in your pocket. It does come with some attachment options. It's metal, so it seems to be able to take a beating. I don't know how well it performs yet. It does seem pretty bright, but I'm gonna have to check it out. And I have no idea how long the thing really lasts. As far as opening it up, I do like to tear down stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think I can open this up easily without it being destructive. I see a screw hidden back here behind this clip, you see? So it could be that you have to punch out this little tiny pin to release the clip on the back along with that spring, and then maybe unscrewing there, and potentially also there could be a screw under this sticky pad here that might be able to pry off the back. I don't expect to find much in here. I mean, there's going to be some circuitry obviously powering a lot of this, the LED algorithms there, and then the battery, which is going to be sitting in the handle, probably a nice beefy battery. I can't tell you what it is, but really, unless I destructively tear this apart, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you much about the inside. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and test it out, and we'll maybe see how it performs later on in this video. All right, folks, I'm in a utility room here where I can turn off the light, and I've got the flashlight here. So let's give it a shot. What I'll do is I'll turn it on, go through the different modes, and flip between spotlight and what is that, floodlight mode, so you can see the difference, okay? So first the light's off. Just press it one time, I think. Yeah, that's the lowest light mode right there, you see? And let's see the difference. So that's, was that floodlight? No, spotlight. That's floodlight. You can see floodlight's got a bit more even in illumination, and this is spotlight, okay? Floodlight, spotlight. Now I'm gonna go up a level. You hold, press and hold. That's the next level up. Here's floodlight, more natural. Spotlight, a little bit more focused. Press and hold. That's the next brightness level. Floodlight, spotlight, floodlight, a little more natural spread, floodlight. And now one more level. I think that's the brightest. That's spotlight. And that's floodlight. Again, a little bit more even, and then spotlight. And then I think when I press one more time, it goes back to the lowest setting. Okay? And now let's turn it off. Is that off? Yeah. It does warm up a little bit, as you can imagine, especially if you have it running at the highest power. It feels warm to the touch. That may be why they made this metal case, to be honest. It's to dissipate the heat, because I'm sure these LEDs definitely heat up, but it is probably absorbing through the case here. Hopefully that won't cause problems down the road. You know, the heat not being able to be dissipated well enough from the device. But so far, it's not bad. I mean, it is a little bit hot though, so I wouldn't want to run it too hot at too bright for a very long time. I just don't know how high the temperature will get. Okay, I put this on one of the LED, color LED modes, and I can clip it onto my dog's collar. And you can use it as a lamp. Here, come. It's great, and you have different color modes. You can customize it to your dog. It clips right onto his collar. It's not going anywhere. And it works quite well. You can even have it form a light and hang below. Doesn't bother him at all. So that's another potential function of this light. Let's unclick it. There you go. And now let's test it out actually in the backyard here. I'm gonna just go out of LED mode here, of the color LEDs. Okay, and let's turn it on. Okay, so there's a tree here. You can't barely see it because it's very low brightness. I'm on spotlight. That's low. That's the second level. That's even brighter. And that's the brightest level. So it is really bright. I can't really express how bright this thing is. I took it into the park and it has no problem illuminating everything. Okay, and that's the spotlight, which is, okay, let's go up one level. That's the second level, and that's the highest level there. Very bright. Okay, and we're gonna switch it to floodlight. Okay, that's the low level. Medium. That's even higher, and that's the highest. So it's more spread out, a little bit not as white, a little bit more yellowy, more warm color. Okay, let's switch it to spotlight. Okay, very bright. You can see it's illuminating everything for a huge distance. It's very, very bright. So, I mean, it's amazing for something so small to put out such an amount of light. The dog is seeing something. I don't want to blind the dog. I'm going to turn this off again. Again, you don't want to have it on that color, on the very high light mode for very long. It does warm up. I can feel it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the fact that it's metallic is allowing it to sink the heat and dissipate it as much as possible. So that might be a good sign that you're feeling it getting hot, because it means that it's doing the job. It's dissipating heat from the case. But yeah, that's going to be the main issue with this, is especially if you're using it for a long time in the high light mode. Okay, I didn't realize, but there's actually a magnet inside here. I guess if you read the manual, it'll tell you. But you can see it does stick to fridges. It's not the strongest magnet, so I wouldn't worry about it damaging too many things like electronics if you have it in your pocket with your phone or something else. But it will stick, and you know, if you have like a note or something, you can put it in like this and it'll hold up. It doesn't always stay this way because the magnet's on the bottom. It might turn over if you have a heavy piece of paper or something, who knows. But But you can kind of leave little messages for people and do, you know, like a little alert on the fridge like this. Okay, folks, I have exhausted the battery on this thing. I purposefully ran it dry. You can see when it finally runs out, if you try to turn it on, even on a very low setting, you get that red light showing up and it doesn't want to stay on. So I plugged this in. I found an Apple charger that takes the USB-C that I had at home. So you're gonna need one of these chargers. Probably you do have it anyway. And I've plugged it in, and as you can see, this red light is now on. So we're gonna wait. I'm gonna time it. It's now 13:57. Okay, folks, it's now 15:27 or 3:30 almost. And as you can see, it's green. Now I've been glancing at it periodically. I don't know how long it took to charge, but it's definitely, you saw around 2 p.m. it was not charged, and now it's 3:30 and it's charged. So it could have charged even less than that, maybe an hour 15, hour and a half roughly, okay? All right, so the Wurkkos table says these are the times you should expect for the various modes. I'm gonna try floodlight, and I'm gonna do the low setting because I have about 5 hours and a half to spare. It's currently 16:01 plus 5, it'll be about 9:30 at night. So I should be able to keep an eye on this thing until then. So let's turn it on. Okay, leave it there, and we'll check back in about 5 hours and a half. All right, folks, it is 23:03, 11 o'clock, and this thing just died not long ago. You can see the red light is on. It still works, but it's showing low battery, so it may last another half an hour, but it just turned off, maybe because it got onto low powers. So it's 23:14 or 11:14. We're about half an hour short of the time stated on the box for low spotlight mode. And as you can see, even in the RGB mode here, I clicked it on. It's got the red indicator there, and it was dying pretty soon after I turned it on. For now, for some reason, it isn't now. Oh, there it goes, see? All right, we're gonna test this one more time, but this time we're gonna set it to this 2 hour, 10-minute mode on spotlight, or maybe I'll even do the floodlight, an hour 50 just to get it over with. So let's put it to floodlight. That's floodlight, yep. I have it in protected mode. You'll see when I try to turn it on, see it doesn't stay on. And that's a good feature because I had it in my pocket a few times and then I took it out and I noticed it was on. So definitely lock it, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that locks it. Now, as you can see, it's working again. Okay, so here's moonlight, low, medium. Okay, we're now on medium. This thing should last 1 hour, 50 minutes, as it says there. And it is a little bit hotter now. It's going to heat up a little more because it's definitely using up the energy quicker, and we'll see how long it lasts. Time is 20:19. I expect it to be good until about 22, because that's an hour 50. So that'll take us, it's right now 8:19. It'll take us to 9:19, maybe 10 and 10 minutes. All right, let's see what happens. All right, folks, we're at about 21:24, so just a little bit over an hour in, and this red indicator light came on. It's still fairly bright. I don't believe it's as bright as it was initially, but it looks pretty bright. Maybe it's the same. When I first turned it on, it was really heating up. So I'm not sure if that's because there's just a surge in the power in this thing, and it's once it heated up enough, it detected the temperature and it started to regulate itself, or if the battery itself just, you know, puts out a lot of current initially, and then as it stabilizes, it slows down. But in any case, the red light's on, so it must be detecting the voltage starting to get low. It's now 21:25. I was expecting to go to 22:09, which is 10:09 p.m. and we're at 9:25. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this thing and see how far it goes in medium mode. All right, folks, it's 21:39. We're about an hour and a half in, hour 20. You can see that's turbo, slow, medium. All right, so I think I've tested this enough. It is a nice little device that's compact, easy to carry, and convenient. It's got a few different modes that are interesting, and it does seem to live up to most of the specs that are listed. As long as you don't use it on the highest brightness continuously, it should last the time specified. So if you're taking it around and you use it 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there, and so on, if you add up all the times, it'll probably get closer to what's in the table. But don't just turn it on and leave it full, it'll drain the battery much quicker. And that's really the only drawback to the device, is that over time the battery in this will degrade and there's no way to really service it or change it easily. So there are some tips on how to preserve the battery life in this thing. You don't want to have it sit around too long, not charged, and you want to kind of use it regularly. But there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in purchasing one of these things, there is a link in my description, but there are various other sources available online to buy this, and they're just nifty gadgets to have. So I'm looking forward to perhaps reviewing other types of gadgets like this in the future. In any case, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.